I know what you're thinking. Andrew, this trucking industry is tough right now. I got to find a way out. I got to find a way up out of trucking because it's tough in these streets. The money looking funny, the paychecks are negative or less than minimum wage. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I can't survive this trucking, man. My family, they don't talk to me no more. Somebody else raising my kids. I got to get up out of here, Andrew. I got to get out. Leasing just ain't what it used to be back in the day, Andrew. These rates is crazy. Andrew, I'm gonna go back to what I was doing before truck driving back in the 80s, Andrew, back in the 90s, Andrew. I used to slang them things, Andrew. I used to make money back in the day. I'm finna go back to that, man. This trucking ain't it. I always said, Andrew, man, when trucking slow down and they kick me up out of this thing, I'm going back to what I used to do back in the 90s. I used to get that money back in the day, Andrew. I used to get that money back in the day. Yeah, okay. Is that right? That's what the last truck driver said. He facing life in prison right now. But we got another one of y'all, another truck driver. I know it's tough out there, guys, but we got another one. Mr. Emil Woods. Renting a car. Yeah, what's with y'all truck drivers and renting these cars, huh? Rented a car out of Houston, Texas. Got pulled over by Harris County Sheriff's Department on I-10. When pulled over, the sheriffs asked him the famous question, do you have any guns, money, or drugs in the vehicle? Mr. Woods said, we ain't got no drugs up in here, but I got some money up in here. Well, what do you got? Well, back there in the trunk. Now, I ain't got it up in here, just in case somebody, carjacked me or something. But back in that trunk back there, I got about $41,000 of cash back there bundled up. It's just bundled up. How y'all think that worked out? The cop go back in and open the trunk, see the money all wrapped up in the duffel bag, $41,000, cold hard cash. He calls the K9 out. K9 circles the vehicle and alerts to the smell of narcotics. So they searched that car left, right, and center, but they couldn't find the drugs. Maybe perhaps he had just sold everything and he got the cash. He ain't got the drugs no more because he just got it off in Houston, Texas, baby. But because the dog alerted to the smell of narcotics, they seized the cash from Mr. Woods, $41,000. But they let him go. No tickets, no nothing. No crime being committed, they let him go, but they seized his cash. Fast forward, by the way, this was back in 2019. Fast forward, couple of years go by, Mr. Woods, he at the house. Square business. He hanging around a bunch of squares, a bunch of, educated people. And they came up with the perfect excuse. The perfect excuse. I said, look, man, we're going to get this money back. We're going to get this money back. Okay, look, this the plan. This the plan. We're going to take them to court, and we're going to say we was buying a semi-truck.
All my cash, all my dreams, all my life savings, he got cash.
And what did he give you in return?
The officer gave me a receipt, man, a piece of paper. No citation, no nothing. My name is Emil Woods. I'm from Natchez, Mississippi. I grew up in the country, man, hunting, fishing, riding horses, swinging through the bayous on vines, just country stuff, man. I have a racehorse here, and he's my baby. I took him in and I fed him, and he fell in love with me and I fell in love with him.
Along with raising racehorses, Emil hosts barbecues at his home, works construction, and drives tractor trailers.
He came to me one day and he said, babe, I want to own my own trucking business. I said, okay, that's cool. What do you need me to do? He said, can you help me get this truck? I said, okay. So I started working overtime.
After finding a few potential trucks in Houston, Emil borrowed $13,000 from his niece and $6,500 from Jordan. He brought over $40,000 on his trip.
I made it almost into Houston, and they got pulled over by the cops. Why? What's wrong? His initial answer was I was following too close behind a box truck. He asked me to have drugs and cash. I told him, no, sir, I don't do drugs. I have no drugs. But he was like, do you have any cash or maybe a large sum of cash with you? I'm like, yeah, I have cash. The normal questions and stuff like that, it wasn't there. He was just focused on one thing. And that one thing was cash. After so long, when he got what he wanted, he let me go.
The officer seized $41,680 from Emil. He was not arrested for, charged with, or convicted of any crime.
Calling Jordan, telling her about what happened, I was at a loss for words. I really, I choked up,
I worked hard for that money. There are days that I didn't even want to go to work because I'm tired. And to just have it taken with no explanation, it's terrible. How do you start over?
All of my drive, all of my motivation, everything was gone. All I can think about was everything we saved up, and it's hard.
Emil and Jordan are not the only victims of policing for profit. Between 2018 and 2020, law enforcement across Texas added $135 million to their budgets through seizures and forfeitures. More than $37 million of that went to salaries and overtime paid directly to the people who decide whether to seize and forfeit property. Houston takes in more than 10% of the statewide total and pays more than $2 million every year to police just for salaries and overtime. The more property they seize, the more money they make. This financial motive to seize property has led Houston to adopt shoddy practices. One example, Houston forfeiture petitions rely on a form affidavit. That's a sworn written statement that uses cut and paste language. The process is an assembly line to push through as many forfeitures as possible. Their evidence of probable cause is often a dog responding to the odor of drugs after money has already been seized. Houston's practices violate the Texas Constitution. That is why Emil and Jordan are fighting back with a class action lawsuit.
Fighting for myself, I'm fighting for others. I'm fighting for everybody it happened to in the past, and I'm fighting for my dream. I want it back. Cash is not a crime for no one.
Keep in mind, the man got the money seized back in 2019. But here recently in 2025, October 8th, the courts, that's right, 6 years later, after they came up with this brilliant plan with their attorney, that's a wonderful attorney right there. Hey, this $41,000, hey, look, I know I ain't got no receipt for it. Ain't no bank statements. But check this out. I borrowed some money from, little sis over here. Then my brother gave me some money. Dad gave me some money. The girlfriend gave me some money. The little guy on the corner over there, he gave me some money. I put all that together, $41,000. Hey, look, I was in Houston, Texas. I was there to buy a semi-truck. So I'm gonna need all that back. Well, guys, October 8th, you know what the courts ruled? They ruled to give him all his money back. Square business, baby. Square business. Hey, you better stay square. You see, the squares are winning out here. No jail time. No 20 to 30 years. No facing life in prison. No drugs. and got the money back. That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Woods. You keep on trucking, man. You keep on trucking.